This is what support is, guys. Even when we don't want to do something, show your support, still do it. As long as I have Paul, it's entertaining.
All that in there, look at that. Look at those cables, all frozen solid.
You guys have a better view than I do. Good evening, everyone. Yes, you heard me right. I said good evening. I should be saying good night, but I always felt like saying good night means like goodbye, see you later, I'm leaving kind of a thing. So, hold on, it's moving. I'm gonna say good evening, and what I mean by that, it is like 1 in the morning. Yeah, let me show you this fun side project Paul and I are doing. It's so late, guys. I'm gonna get tongue-tied a lot.
Sit rep. It's 1 a.m. and we are here. All of our groceries and all of our food is out of our fridge.
Wait, guys, remember I said our fridge was just making weird noises and whatnot? Yeah, it finally just gave up on us.
Mm-hmm. So our fridge is a Samsung fridge. Our freezer is on the bottom part, and the freezer is working perfectly fine because this is what's called twin cooling. Sorry, my headlamp's on. It's called twin cooling plus. So that means I actually have a cooling coil here with a fan here, and there's another one down there which cools the freezer, one cools the refrigerator. Like Jenny said, for a few days it's been making a weird noise. The temperature gauge here kept saying that it was going up, even though the doors were closed. It kept saying that the doors were open, so whatever. Yeah, today I just came down to get some water and I noticed that the fridge is really warm. I put my thermometer in here and it was at like 57 degrees. So I told Janice, I was like, yeah, all our food's gonna go bad if we don't try to do something. So I looked up some YouTube videos and now we see that the coil is back here. So what's gonna happen is this. It actually is somewhat common in refrigerators and some of like the rental units that we have, that we manage and stuff, that the fridge will work properly, but the coils get frozen and then the fridge doesn't start cooling. In this case, this is completely a gigantic block of ice here because there's a bunch of little coils running around in there. There should be like a heating coil on the sides of it that, you know, once it reaches a temperature, it turns on to heat the coils up to make sure this problem doesn't happen, but those coils can go bad, and then this happens. There's some water down here, and the ice is slowly defrosting, but this is a huge thing that's a solid block of ice. And there's like, behind this plastic panel that moves, styrofoam. And that styrofoam is frozen solid to the coils. It's all ice. That's why I have a handy dandy hairdryer. We're gonna try to get this done.
So guys, we are both tired, but we're both making an effort. Paul told me, he came up early and he was like, yeah, I gotta do the fridge. And I asked him, how long is it gonna take for him to repair? He was like, maybe 2 hours. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go downstairs with you and help. Even if I'm just here in the corner just looking at you and admiring all your masterpiece work.
Yes.
This is what support is, guys. Even when we don't want to do something, show your support, still do it. As long as I have Paul, it's entertaining. Paul thinks he got it. This has been...
This is delicate because there's like electronics and a thing and a coil and all sorts of stuff back there that I don't want to damage.
This fridge, man.
Oh yeah, it's all frozen.
It's still frozen?
No, it's a gigantic block. Like I couldn't even disconnect the wires if I wanted to.
Really?
Like it's like ice like that thick back there. I'll try to see if I can show you guys like all that in there. Look at that. Look at those cables, all frozen solid.
You guys have a better view than I do.
That's gonna suck to get it out. It's gonna be a few hours, but I gotta do it. 90% of the styrofoam is detached from the coil, except for this one little section here. So I'm trying to get it, like, work it out. It's just I don't want to rip the styrofoam because it's kind of necessary. So.
Honestly, guys, if I was a single woman living by myself, I would have said, if my fridge would have broke, I would have been like, sorry, food. Talk to you tomorrow. I'm so proud of you.
How am I supposed to detach that? This is definitely not how the YouTube video said it was gonna be like. See the coil? That should have no ice whatsoever at all. That should be perfectly fine.
So whose fault is this? Jack Frost?
No, it's just I don't know. The line is frozen up here. I was expecting this to be filled with ice. That's the heating coil on the outer edge of it. So that like heats up to keep the coil free of ice. For some reason the ice is up top, which I shouldn't have ice either, but still. And there's still ice in the coil here, so it's not like...
Should we just try it or start blowing air on it?
Yeah.
Here, I'll do it.
But I need to try to figure out how to disconnect the
They
door.
Okay. There's one wire there.
There's two.
The blue or the yellow wire? Which color, guys? Which one? We did it! Just to get that off. We did a pretty good job. How's the fan? Is it damaged? Or,
Not really.
I know nothing of fridge. Well, there was some ice right there. You can see some ice.
Yeah, that's probably what the noise what it was making, was it rubbing up against ice because it's all full of water. So...
Do I Lysol wipe clean this?
Like you see all this ice right there?
Yeah.
This should have no ice on it whatsoever.
Well, let's start blow drying, huh? Blow drying our fridge.
The fan seems fine. Honestly, I'm going to replace the heating coil
Okay.
tomorrow. I just have to find a store that sells it, that has one in stock. This is Samsung. Most likely they're going to have to order it. It's going to suck.
Peasants. While Paul was doing that, I was able to wipe down all of our other shelves for here, for our fridge.
Let's clean when we have half of our fridge disassembled.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, Paul, don't blind everybody.
So, you know, this coil, for those of you who don't know, there's always going to be condensation on any kind of coil that you have for your AC, for everything. That's why sometimes ACs have like drip pans and they drain to the outside of the house. This has something similar. There's a little pan in here and it drips down there, and it just helps that any condensation goes in there, it'll eventually evaporate. But it's all frozen, full of water.
We'll figure it out.
So I just have to keep defrosting. Like there should literally be nothing there. That's all.
We'll get it done.
It's gonna suck, but oh well. All right, sit rep.
What's a sit rep? You keep saying that.
It's like update.
Oh, got it. Who uses that?
People?
What species?
British?
Thank you. That's actually what I meant. Army, military,
Yeah, people say just it's a sit rep. Anyways,
Who says that?
so sit rep, because Janice doesn't like me using that term. Coil is about I'd say 30% defrosted, and there's still I'm able to remove large chunks of ice. So I don't have to wait for it to defrost. I can just carefully pick it off, put it on my towel. I have to be careful not to damage the coils, because if I damage the coil, I'm screwed, and it's a whole other situation. Because then you need a technician to come in here, repair the coil, fill it with Freon, and at that point you might as well buy a new fridge sometimes, depending on the fridge.
Progress has been made.
Sit rep.
Sit rep. Oh my god.
So before you remember, there's ice here everywhere, just frozen everywhere. So this is still really thick. I just can't go too hot because I just don't want to damage the coil. This is the actual cooling coil. Now the good thing is,
why don't we chisel it like they did back in the modern times?
If you damage the coil, you're screwed. We actually, don't you remember Janet in our office? The little fridge had ice on it. She took a knife and she started cleaning it out stupidly.
Really?
Stupidly, yeah, and she punctured the thing, and I don't know, you hear it. All the Freon was gone, and we had to throw away the fridge.
Well, guys, I've learned a lesson.
But the cool thing is like I took like a 5-minute break, and all the water, like the residual on there, got frozen solid. So the coil is working beautifully. It's just it gets overrun with heat. This is not going to be cold because this has to circulate all the air in there.
Whatever. How's it going?
We're almost there. About like 95% of the way there, thankfully. So.
Hey guys, if there's an easier way to do this, let us know. But Paul said this is the best method. I trust Paul.
I have had to do this before, and this is the way that I've always done it. I'm not replacing anything. I'm just getting it so that my fridge can work and I don't lose a lot of food. And then tomorrow, I know what I have to replace. The fan and the coil, and I can figure that out tomorrow. But for right now, I just needed to cool down the fridge a little bit so that I don't lose food.
The mighty have fallen. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Well,
We won.
If you don't remember, that was a giant block of ice before. Now we can actually see all the copper and everything. So
Little bits and pieces of.
so
And this is supposed to be a smart fridge. Shouldn't it be preventing this kind of stuff? It's not so smart to me.
yeah, but it's not that old. I mean, it's not that new. It's not this kind of.
I was being sarcastic, Albertus.
So at least that's done.
What's next? What do we do? How do we know if it works or?
I'm going to try to defrost some of the ice on these coils. It was clean before to try to get it to drain down. And then instead of putting heat, just cold air and just blow as much water of it off. Because it's just going to freeze and start freezing in there.
Okay.
So.
Do it. Guys, we're almost done. Well, it's just too hard for me to crack a smile right now because I'm so tired. Alright, so Paul's going to get a can of air. A can of air, right? Or a can of whoop ass?
Both.
Okay, there we go. And he's gonna blow our fridge real good, you know, get it to run again.
So I'm just doing like a little duster just to get some of the residual water off. So
Fancy. Could I use that to blow dry my hair a little?
No.
No. Okay.
That was it. Just a couple of quick passes just to get as much water off of the coil. And that's it.
So Paul's doing his final look through. Are we gonna put everything back in the fridge? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering for a second. Are we gonna leave the hairdryer in there? Let it be part of the food?
Pretty much.
Part of your
The food can
world.
bond with it.
Exactly. It's pink. It could be taken as a strawberry. Alright guys, let's put everything back in. Ta ta da da, but dun 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 da dum.
I feel the cold air coming from the back, so once I actually put the cover back on and reconnected the fan wire, instantly the fan started going. The fan doesn't look like it's broken at all. It's spinning perfectly fine. It's working, and I felt the cold air come from it, which is exactly how it is. Don't get me wrong, this is not a permanent solution. This is a temporary fix. This is a band-aid over it, but this will buy us some time so that I can find the heating coil, order it, and then have to take everything apart again, but I know exactly what it is. Not a big deal. And we'll give it a few hours, come back in like at least half hour, 45 minutes. It should be cooler by then where you feel it. And that's it, man. I'm tired. It is 2:17 a.m. We've been doing this since around like 12:31.
This right here, guys, is how we do it.
This is the life of being a homeowner.
Yeah. And also, when my spouse is going through something, I'm going to be there with him. Just enduring the stress and pain, because it can be overwhelming.
Gotta embrace the suck.
I'm sorry, guys. My hair is just... whatever. So, guys, like Paul said, we're going to come back and check the temp of the fridge.
Come back in like half hour.
Yeah.
Give it sufficient amount of time to cool down, because it said it was at 64 degrees on the interior, which it was not. It was a lot hotter.
But do not worry, guys. We will give you guys an update. But this is where we end it, and we go to bed and take it easy. So, guys, we hope you're having an amazing good night's sleep, because we're not.
And I gotta wake up early tomorrow.
What? So, guys, hopefully you're doing great. Take it easy. Have a good night's sleep. Have sweet dreams. For now, adieu and good night.